Hey yo, it's your boy D5D's here, man. And you tapped in with the youngest in charge right now. Passive income with KJ. Doing it big. D5.
Hex and drip, hex and drip. All a nigga need is some hex and drip. 1% a day, I be printing drip. When I get post chain, I'ma stick that shit. Hex and drip, hex and drip. All a nigga need is some hex and drip. 1% a day, I be printing drip. When I get post chain, I'ma stick that shit. 555, feel like Richard Hart. Forrest got a nigga eating off the main farm. In the pen with some pigs, in the pools with dogs. And I just got a call from the R2R.
Yo, what's going on, guys? We're back with another video. Before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss another upload. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, say we can get started, guys. So basically, today, alright, hold on. Let me start from the beginning. Last video, I said I was gonna do a bit of a deeper dive into the like some of the Biden family's acts against the country, and how every time something like something develops with the Bidens, something illegal, you know what I'm saying, that they've done, crimes they've committed, money they've stolen or had sent to them illegally, or conspiring with foreign nationals, you know what I'm saying? How every time something like that happens, they pull something up on Trump that it's kind of bogus. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we're just gonna be taking a deeper dive into those situations and like what's going on. So first, we're gonna start with this clip of the Fox News report. It's on their YouTube channel. Link down below if you guys want to check it out. But it's called "Coincidence: Timing of Trump Indictments and Hunter Biden Developments Raises Eyebrows." Now, listen. These guys ain't one for like. I'm talking about like Democrats. They ain't one to, you know what I'm saying, hide stuff. They tell you what they gonna do, when they gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta know what to look for. You know what I'm saying? They say it. They say the things they're gonna do, and they do the things that they say. Just like several times they said that no matter what, Joe Biden was gonna be president, and that even if Trump won, they were still gonna have an inauguration for Biden. You know what I'm saying? But let's just get started.
Well, former President Trump indicted for a fourth time, as you know, this
fourth
week. And on the same day that another big story was breaking about the Hunter Biden probe, raising quite a few eyebrows about the timing of all of this. So let's break down the timeline of Trump's indictments versus the key developments in the Hunter saga. So let's start in New York City this March. Look at this: Biden family and the laptop revelations versus Trump's indictments. So this is the first indictment. March 16th, the House Oversight Committee reveals that Biden family payments from this Chinese energy company. Well, look at this.
Where Hunter Biden received $1 billion. Yes, $1 billion would be. He received $1 billion, Hunter Biden, from a Chinese company. $1 billion. That's a whole lot of money for Hunter. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole lot of money.
2 days later, Trump says he's going to be indicted in New York. He wrote that on
he's saying he's going to be indicted. Actually, hold on, let me just
social media. Then April 4th, the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, indicts Trump in that hush money case,
where he paid a sex worker to not tell his wife about an affair. They brought him up on federal charges.
This is right after we find out about all this money from the energy company. Okay, so that is New York City. Let's go to Florida. This is in June. The bribery allegations and the plea deals versus Trump's second indictment. So these are the classified documents, Mar-a-Lago stuff. So on June 7th, the FBI releases the documents alleging that the Bidens took the $10 million bribe from Burisma. Remember?
Had him in the coffee shop talking about some $5 million for one Biden, $5 million for the other.
the owner of Burisma, caught in the coffee shop saying $5 million for one Biden, $5 million for another. Then the very next day, look at this, Jack Smith indicts Trump in the Mar-a-Lago document.
Where those documents, the FBI knew those documents were there the entire time. They actually told Trump to lock the documents up. Why? Because he legally held those documents. Why? Because he was president and he had the power to declassify those documents and for those documents to be in his possession. But they want to raid Mar-a-Lago. But what about when Obama had all those classified documents in a warehouse in Chicago, an abandoned warehouse in Chicago, as a senator? What about when Hunter Biden had classified documents in his garage when his father was vice president? Like, what? Come on.
Document case. Then on July 26th, that's the Hunter Biden sweetheart deal that's rejected. The very next day, July 27th, Jack Smith adds more charges in the Mar-a-Lago case. Let's slap some more charges to that. All right, so then in July, let's go to D.C. Devon Archer interview versus Trump's third indictment. So this was the January 6th stuff. July 31st.
Although, like, come on, like, January 6th was incited by the feds. The feds were there. They incited January 6th.
Devon Archer testifies that Joe Biden was on 20-plus phone calls with his son's business partners. The very next day, Jack Smith indicts Trump for the January 6th case. Coincidence? We don't know. You decide. All right, now let's go to Georgia. This happened recently, the last few days. FBI agent transcript versus Trump's fourth indictment. So in the morning, on August 14th, GOP releases the transcripts from this FBI agent involved in the Hunter Biden investigation. And it happens to coincide with what the whistleblower was saying, that someone tipped off, the Secret Service tipped off Hunter Biden. He was never interviewed. So their stories are very similar. So then on August 14th, that same day, later in the afternoon or that night and that evening, Fulton County DA Fani Willis charges Trump and 18 others in the Georgia 2020.
Even though somehow, right, Trump is winning by 51% on election night. They paused the election. Somehow, overnight, over 400,000 votes from one state went into Joe Biden when it was paused. That doesn't make sense. At 3 in the morning. But the election wasn't rigged. Do the math. Like, it's so easy to see that. It's just stuff. You even see stuff online. People, they shredding people's votes, changing them. They're dead people is voting somehow. Like, what? People being brought back from the dead to vote? That's crazy.
Election probe. You have the facts. You make up your mind, your decision. Is this a coincidence?
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
So that's the all the stuff. You know what I'm saying? The timing is kind of suspicious. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're trying to cover up something. Right here. Since 2008. The president's son and business partners made over $20 million from foreign business deals. $20 million, including Ukrainian and Russian billionaires. Right, this Trump's lawyer right here. Tweet from Green Lives Matter. This is from a couple days ago. Alina Habba, Trump's lawyer, just brought the fire. On March 17th, Hunter Biden admits it was his laptop from hell. The next day, DA Alvin Braggs indicts President Trump. Okay, so we just talked about that. But, boom, right? He admitted it was his laptop. And they still call 51 agencies. 51 federal agencies said that the laptop was Russian disinformation. 51 U.S. agencies said it was Russian disinformation. Come on. June 8th, an FBI document is released showing that the Ukrainians paid the Biden crime family millions and millions of dollars. Next day, the Mar-a-Lago raid. Last week, Hunter Biden's sweetheart plea deal fell through when the judge realized it had blanket immunity. The following day, a superseding indictment against Donald Trump. And we gonna get to the Hunter Biden, his charges. We gonna get to that. You know what I'm saying? July 31st, Devin Archer goes to testify in front of the House. What happens the next day? The January 6th indictment that we're here for today. This is from a couple days ago, so it's not actually today. This is not a coincidence. This electric interference. This is election interference at its finest. President Trump is under siege in a way that we have never seen before. President Trump will continue to fight, not for him, but for the American people.
This is the Biden political lawfare that we have seen time and time again. It is a deflection from everything that they have done. And if you don't believe me, look at the facts. On March 17th, Hunter accidentally admits that it was his laptop from hell. The next day, DA Alvin Bragg indicts President Trump. June 8th, an FBI document is released showing that the Ukrainians paid the Biden crime family millions and millions of dollars. The next day, the Mar-a-Lago raid and the Mar-a-Lago indictment. Last week, Hunter Biden's sweetheart plea deal fell through when the judge realized it had blanket immunity. The following day, a superseding indictment against Donald Trump. July 31st, Devin Archer goes to testify in front of the House. That was only after they failed to put him in jail prior to the fact. What happens the next day? The January 6th indictment that we're here for today. This is not a coincidence. This is election interference at its finest against the leading candidate right now for president, for either party. President Trump is under siege in a way that we have never seen before. President Trump and his legal team and everyone on his team will continue to fight, not for him, but for the American people.
There you go. Next, boom, right? Hunter Biden's misdemeanor tax charges have been dismissed by a federal judge in Delaware. The DOJ submitted a filing last week to dismiss the case ahead of a possible trial on Biden's felony gun charge in a different district. So they're going to drop the tax charges altogether, and they're talking about, they said they was going to drop the gun charge to go charge him with the gun charge somewhere else, which kind of doesn't make sense. You know, that. Then you got the news right here from Fox. So, Hunter Biden's misdemeanor tax charges have been dismissed by a federal judge in Delaware, an expected move after his sweetheart plea deal fell through last month during his first court appearance in the case. The Justice Department submitted a filing last week to dismiss the case ahead of a possible trial on Biden's felony gun charge in a different district. After the plea deal fell apart, Biden pleaded not guilty as federal prosecutors confirmed he is still under federal investigation. He was expected to plead guilty to the 2 misdemeanor tax counts of willful failure to pay federal income tax as part of a plea deal to avoid jail time on the felony gun charge. And that's for how basically in 2017 and 2018 he failed to report $1.5 million in revenue, and therefore he failed to pay like $100,000 in taxes, and that's why they wanted to come after him. Biden's attorneys and special counsel David Weiss are still fighting over a diversion agreement concerning the felony charge that would allow him to avoid any jail time. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I'm just going with Weiss. Weiss has indicated that he plans to potentially take Biden to trial in the future in either Washington, D.C. or California. On Tuesday, Weiss strongly rejected claims by Biden's legal team that his office reneged on the plea deal for President Biden's son to resolve the federal tax and gun charges, while stressing that agreement was not in effect. In a court filing, Weiss fired back the Biden's attorneys, which over the weekend filed a motion stating that the parties have a valid and binding bilateral diversion agreement. He added that Biden chose to plead not guilty at the hearing on July 26, and U.S. probation declined to approve the proposed diversion agreement at that hearing. Thus, neither proposed agreement entered into effect. Weiss said that Biden rejected these counter proposals on August 7, 2023. Seeing that the parties were at an impasse, the government informed the defendant in writing on on August 9, 2023, that it was withdrawing the most recent version of its proposed plea and diversion agreements. Weiss wrote in a filing, "This is why the government has asked the court to vacate its briefing order. It has moved to dismiss the criminal tax information." So, there you go. You know what I'm saying? He be trying to get away with everything. You know what I'm saying? He had to get Secret Service motorcade to go to court to try and get his child support payments reduced. Yet they denied JFK Jr. Secret Service escort to the what's it called? You know, for his campaign, basically for his presidential campaign. It's crazy. And we can spend all like how I was saying last week, we can spend all this money overseas, but we can't help nobody. We can't help our own people. You know what I'm saying? We having all these extravagant lunches in the White House with these Russian and Ukrainian oligarchs, these billionaires, but we can't, and we sending them billions of dollars, but we can't get nothing for the US people. Like, look at this right here. Russia invaded Ukraine on the 24th of February, 2022. Alright? So, about a year and a half ago, about 18 months ago, like, the whole war started. 2 days later, Biden approved $350 million in aid. That was just the beginning. Alright, guys? The next thing I'm going to show you is going to be even crazier. It's been 10 days since the Maui fire, and he has sent $1.9 million, $700 per household to La Hyena. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering it, but I'm going to just go with La Hyena. But $700 per house, that's not even a month worth of utilities, if we're being real. That's not even rent. That's not even that might be food. You know what I'm saying? That might be food and gas for the month. Maybe. But that's it, bro. Like, that's it. That's nothing. 1.9 million, and that's only for that one city. What about the rest of the island? It's torched. The whole place destroyed. But not even only that. You know what I'm saying? How come none of the trees, like, you ever see all the celebrity homes and stuff weren't really touched, and all the trees, like, somehow weren't burnt? Like, it was looking crazy. I didn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? They were showing, like, videos of lasers hitting stuff and just making it, like, explode, and how the car engines and stuff, how the fire shouldn't have been hot enough to melt the car engines, but somehow the whole car engine was melted. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to be we're going to get into that at another time. But back on track, right? $1.9 million for the Maui fires, but $350 million the day after Ukraine's invasion. This is from the Ukrainian World Congress.org site itself. It's the government of Ukraine itself telling this right here. The U.S. House of Representatives on Friday passed a $1.6 trillion government funding bill for the fiscal year 2023. So that means we got $1.6 trillion to spend on whatever we want this year, right? In which a record $44.9 billion is earmarked for aid to Ukraine. The bill increases president's authority to transfer defense equipment to Ukraine to $14.5 billion, while assigning $11.88 billion to replenish U.S. stocks of equipment sent to Ukraine through presidential drawdown authority. So before we get to the next thing, right? The billions of dollars of equipment we left in Afghanistan, in the Middle East, when we just bugged out of there, like, we got all this money to be sending all this equipment after losing billions of dollars in equipment in Afghanistan. What happened to all that stuff? Nobody want to talk about that. What happened to all that stuff? $9.3 billion is intended for Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative to provide training, equipment, weapons, logistics support, supplies and services, salaries and stipends, sustainment, and intelligence support to Ukraine's military. $13.37 billion will also be provided in vital economic and budgetary support for the government of Ukraine, including support for Ukraine's energy security and other critical infrastructure needs and assistance to other countries impacted by the situation in Ukraine. Addressing the House in what she said will probably be her last speech as Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi mentioned extraordinary heroes in Ukraine fighting on the front lines in battles for democracy. In this legislation, we proudly deliver another consequential round of security, economic, and humanitarian aid. And it is really not, as the president of Ukraine said the other night, it isn't about charity, it's about security, it's about working together, Pelosi said. So, I'm saying $45 billion for Ukraine this year is going to be sent to them. And the year's not even over. So we're still sending. We still got a couple more billions to send. But yeah, the American people who need help get $700. It's crazy. A one-time payment. Not even recurring payment. A one-time payment of $700. That's crazy. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be about it for today. You know what I'm saying? Again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna catch y'all later though. Peace.